Last year, I lost my corporate job of almost a decade as a video editor and motion designer, and as difficult as it all was at first, it gave me the push I finally needed to start freelancing full-time, giving me more freedom to travel the country in my van than ever before. So when the time came for me to visit another round of national parks this spring, I packed up my laptop and my camera gear and hit the road to officially start my first trip as, and I hate this phrase, a digital nomad. Ew, hated saying that. But whatever you want to call it, I'll be spending the next week driving over 2,000 miles to Utah, stopping along the way to work out of my van, and even making the occasional detour as I make my way out west. I do want to start out by saying I do not live in my van full-time. Normally, I live here at home with my boyfriend, but when it comes to road trips, I can live in the van pretty comfortably for quite a while. Which is helpful because the places I want to visit are getting increasingly further away, but I'll talk more about that later because I should really start driving now. It's been about 7 hours since I left home, and I've made it a pretty respectable distance. I'm almost all the way across Pennsylvania and into Ohio. So feel pretty decent about that, but tomorrow is going to be a similarly brutal day because I'm trying to fit in as much driving as possible before I have to start splitting my time between working and driving starting on Monday. While I'm stopped for some gas, let me tell you a little bit more about where I'm headed on this trip. This road trip is taking me all the way to Utah, where I'll be visiting all 5 national parks in the state, often referred to as the Mighty 5. And on the way there, I have a few interesting stops planned that felt worth going out of the way for. But for now, I'm finally stopping for the night here in Ohio, and I'll see you tomorrow morning for my first detour. So today is day 2 of driving, and currently I am just outside of Cincinnati at my first stop, which is a grocery store. This is Jungle Jim's International Market, a supermarket with a selection of global groceries and some interesting decor. Even though people obviously come here for the food, there's a bit more to the store than that, including some elaborate theme park-like displays, a machine that can print frosting onto a cake, and some interesting-looking restrooms. This place is massive, so I wandered through the aisles for a pretty long time, passing shelves full of various snacks and condiments, all organized by country of origin. This is overwhelming, so I got a cart, but I do want to find 2 things in particular. First one is mee goreng, instant noodles, and the second one is Percy Pigs, the fizzy ones. They have it. But over in the Great Britain section of the store, the Percy Pigs were nowhere to be found. Didn't see it in the UK aisle, but I think there's like a Haribo section and it's probably there, if anywhere. Despite my best efforts, I was unable to find the Percy Pig candies, but I considered this bag of my favorite Haribo gummies to be a decent consolation prize. I I knew this was gonna happen, but I spent way too long in there. However, I did get some pretty good things that I can't find anywhere else, so I'm happy I stopped, but I do have to keep going. So I will see you in Indiana. Okay, I have arrived just outside of Indianapolis for my second stop of the day at Portillo's for an early dinner, late lunch. I've been meaning to try Portillo's since driving through the Midwest last fall, so my dinner for today is one of their famous Italian beef sandwiches. The sandwich and onion rings were really good, but I didn't really film myself eating it because no one needs to see that.
Want to see me shotgun this?
Oh God, she means the pizza. Now she's unhinging her jaw!
However, it's not really why I came to Portillo's. I really came for this, which is their chocolate cake shake. It is exactly what it sounds like. It is a chocolate milkshake with a slice of their very popular chocolate cake blended into it, and I was very good and saved my first sip until just now, so. It takes a while to get it up. That goes absolutely crazy. I see why it's famous. I see why it's famous. Well, I have arrived at my final stop for the day, which is here in St. Louis, and I'm pretty happy with the progress that I managed to make over the weekend, and I'm gonna go to bed and get ready to start working tomorrow. So I'm officially back to work today, and I've just been hanging out here at this very sparsely populated RV park, but I should get out of here pretty soon. I did actually want to stop in St. Louis and check out the City Museum, which I've heard a lot of good things about, but sadly I do not think I'm gonna have time, so I think instead I'm just going to take a bit of a break, start driving, get some lunch, and try to make it to Kansas tonight. Earlier, when I said the places I want to travel are getting further away, I was referring to the fact that a lot of this country's national parks are in the West. Because I live on the East Coast, my road trips are getting longer, and passing through St. Louis will become an increasingly regular occurrence. And after 3 days of driving, I've finally made it to a state I've never been to before, Kansas, and have stopped just in time for some massive thunderstorms to roll through, which I watched from the back of the van as I opened my laptop up and worked late into the night. So when I talked to you last, I was just over the border of Kansas, and well, we have basically completely teleported across Kansas because I really did not film anything yesterday. I weirdly found a second wind after finishing all of my work at 1 in the morning and drove with a Charlie XCX boiler room set blasting and my rave lights on and just kind of cranked out a couple 100 miles somehow. Today I should be driving only about 400 miles, I want to say, and about half of those are going to be done with by the time I sit down and open my laptop for the day. So I'm hoping that I can get a little bit more of a rhythm going than yesterday, where I was just, I don't even know what was going on, man. Anyways. stopped here in Rocky Ford to get a bit of work done and have some coffee, which went fine, but now I am facing a dilemma that has kind of been cooking in the background for the past couple of days, and that is the fact that I cannot charge this battery. Well, actually, I can't charge either of these batteries. They are batteries for my drone. The charger that I decided to bring with me is not the correct kind for the drone that I have. I can try to find one and overnight it on Amazon. This is a pretty remote part of Colorado. Like, the part that I'm heading out to is pretty sparse. There's not really like an Amazon locker out there that I can go and pick stuff up at. So I thought about it, and I think this means I am going to make a slight change of plans. So after placing an order for a new charger, I've come here to Colorado Springs to wait for it to arrive. Despite the change of plans, I am going to try to take advantage of my time here in Colorado Springs as much as I can. So I am about to attempt the Manitou Incline, and we'll see how it goes. This trail is made from the remnants of old rail ties that once carried a funicular up the eastern arm of Pikes Peak. But what makes it famous is the incline itself, because it rises over 2,000 feet in less than a mile. Okay, this is my stop. I would go all the way up, but I do kind of have to get back down and shower and get to work, so this is a pretty good excuse to bail out here, I guess. Okay, it is considerably later in the day now. I ended up here at this KOA campground just outside of the city because the city of Colorado Springs itself has like a no RV car camping ordinance, so it's just nice to have this designated place to come back to at the end of the night and not have to really think about it. Okay, today is the day. I'm going to leave Colorado Springs once my battery charger arrives, but in the meantime I'll still be finishing up what work I can. I think no matter what, today's gonna be a good day because I am about to reach 10,000 subscribers. This is so embarrassing, but I've had this bottle of champagne to open when I reach 10,000 subscribers. I've had this bottle for like 4 years. The contents are probably off now. It's probably not actually good to drink. But I did bring it with me because I was very close to this goal before I left, and I figured what better way to celebrate than doing it while on a trip. But we're still 1 subscriber away, so I'll wait to see when it happens, hopefully later today, and we can celebrate and open this together. Kinda hope it happens sooner than later because I'm scared about having this pressurized beverage in Colorado Springs. Okay, I think my work here is done, at least for now, and I'm gonna go head over to the showers. Okay, I've had my shower, and now it's time for coffee. Most of this trip has been utter chaos, and now on this final day of driving across the country, I am finally doing kind of what I had envisioned, which was like sitting in the van and working remotely and having my little coffee in here. And most of the week has very much not gone like that, but things are looking up, I think. I just got an email that the battery has arrived, or the battery charger has arrived, and it also has started snowing, so I think that's probably a sign that I should leave Colorado. Scared me for a second, but it's working. Success. I think stopping here ended up kind of just giving me the opportunity to reset myself anyways, but now I have a pretty long drive, so I will see you in a bit. Even though very little of this trip went to plan, I finally made it here to Utah, so I think that's cause for a little celebration. Okay, I think by now it's safe to say I've hit the 10,000 mark, so after 4 years, I'm gonna open this up. As satisfying as it is to finally reach this goal, when it comes down to it, making videos is just something I enjoy. And what could be more satisfying than that? I still kind of can't believe this, but here we go. Oh god, it's probably off, I don't know. Yeah, it's off. But it doesn't matter. Just a tiny one. I don't want to dump alcohol over the ground, but okay, maybe just one more. Okay, well, I and you are covered in champagne, so I guess I'm gonna leave you guys here, but I think it goes without saying, thank you for watching. I would literally never ever do coke, but I love Justine and it is a good song.